Peter Ward will probably let the ball in, which he does do. Andy Price takes the applause of the crowd. I'm on a date tonight, so I'll have to just looking good. No, I'll just do it in front of her.
He's kept going. He's scored! Oh, Stockport pressure.
It's a 5-star performance from Stockport County.
All right, we got a small house, a small house, but we got a big bloody heart, I tell you.
Fashionably late, actually. We're just having a very important creative discussion. Hello and welcome to the 21st of an infinite number of episodes of SK3 TV, the weekly show giving you the first word on the weekend's county action and loads more besides. Every Monday between the hours of 8 and 9ish, very much here, taking a sideways look at the last 7 days at Edgeley Park with me, Nick, and joining me, surprisingly, she's very much been deployed in a free role tonight. She's like the old-fashioned number 10. It's Hannah from London. I was trying to find a clip of in Coronation Street when someone says, "Oh, he's gone to." There's that compilation on Twitter of some people in Coronation Street saying, "Oh, he's gone to London." Like London, but I didn't have time. So
yeah.
I was visiting other stuff. How are we?
My colleague, it's pouring down. I don't think it's sleeting like it is in Stockport, but we've just had a barbecue. My boss is South African and buys these enormous steak fillets from Borough Market. So we're being very fancy in London tonight. Apart from
a bad day for vegetarians.
Yeah, no vegetarians in the leadership team. It's the
Is that a conscious decision? Oh.
Yes, I just asked him. I was like, it's a conscious thing. He's like, yeah. It's not for anyone. It's not it's vegetarianism protected characteristic. It probably isn't.
It will be by the end of this, won't it? That's it.
No,
once the bloody wokes get hold of it.
Yeah, I don't know how long I'll be here for, but I couldn't miss out on the opportunity to discuss a little bit of Stockport County.
Well, we've got to be very careful because the celebration police has been out in force this weekend.
Yeah.
So don't be showing too much joy. Don't be showing that you're happy with a win over, a fellow promotion hunting side. Just stay calm. Let's just pretend it's National League North and everything's shit. Also joining us.
Rivals, though, then.
Don't get me started on this because we've only got an hour, and I could whinge about that for the whole fucking hour. Also joining us is the thinking man's thinking man. It's Ben. Hello.
Hello. Nicest thing you've ever said to me, Nick.
Well, stick around. There might be more.
Shirt-based abuse is not the normal introduction.
I've done them all though. There's only so much alliteration you can do that calls you some sort of sex offender. So I've run out.
Yeah,
good
for the betterment of the SK3 TV podcast. I think you'll
and society. I'd argue
as a whole.
Yes.
Hello.
Excellent. Well, I'll crack a quick bit of admin out, and then Ben has got a couple of teasers for you to be going on with for the next hour or so, and then that's not a sexual euphemism, is it?
No, it's genuine trivia knowledge. That's what I'm here for. It's the only reason you get me on. I offer nothing else.
Trick, is it? Knowledge, but we'll get there. I'm sure they'll have fun guessing anyway. Admin wise, Hannah, me and you, what are we doing on Wednesday?
We're talking to Andy Priest. It's so exciting. I'm so excited.
Well, I'll be talking to him. You'll be talking at him.
Oh, I'll just be sat just in awe. It was like when we played Chorley in pre-season a couple of years ago, and I just sat there and like, it's Andy Priest. So yeah, I'll be totally cool and unaffected.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, we are interviewing or in conversation with Andy Priest at the Spinning Top. It's the Stockport County Cooperative Supporters Board. It's their event, and tickets are still available. I think a few tickets are still available, not many. It's a very intimate venue.
Very, very intimate. Intimate is how I like it, both in terms of live events and otherwise. I'm fine. It's going to be very good. I didn't know he was Chorley manager until they announced the event. So that's the level of top-notch research you're going to get on it. No, but good. I've done other research. It's good. We've got some good stuff, and yours is all in very nice handwriting. So that's fine. That's fine.
I do.
What else do we have? Admin wise, yes. So the link will be in the episode description for that to get tickets. Friend and listener and reader and watcher of the show, Matt Brady, along with his friend Rick Ross, they're doing a walk to Wigan. Not a general walk to Wigan, but for the Wigan away game, they're walking to Wigan away in aid of Mentel. So that's in the comments. I've stuck their Just Giving page. 2 more pieces. Saturday, Jonathan the Geordie Hatter is back with his away day show. People will have forgotten that it existed because it's been so long without a Saturday away game, but it'll probably get postponed now or something, knowing our luck. But yes, that is back on Saturday. Check out our link tree and you can find the link to that to subscribe and listen live from 9:30 on Saturday morning. And once we are done on Wednesday night with Andy Priest, in the next week or so, tickets will be going on sale, Ben, for our end-of-year county quiz on the 18th of December at Stockport. What are you doing that night, Hannah?
I'm going to the school carol service, and then I'm going to the quiz. Unfortunately, I'll be a bit late, so can't participate in the actual quiz, but I can, sell raffle tickets or something.
I'm going to have to get some ringers on the SK3 TV team, aren't I? I'm gonna have
You
to,
don't want me.
How many are we having on each team?
Probably 4, I think. That's what we usually do, isn't it?
4 on each team. So it's going to be an SK3 TV team against is it like a university challenge, 2 teams involved, or like an open floor for anyone to pay and take part?
Yeah,
I think the latter. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to be sat on a higher chair than everyone else getting questions wrong. I'd rather just be able to
You do want to be sat on a higher chair than everyone else.
Yeah, because if there's anything that I need, it's more height.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that I need in my life, it's that. But yes, Ben will be the question master. Poncho.
Oh, he's gone.
And I imagine you've got some good stuff lined up already.
I've got some bastard questions lined up. Fiendishly difficult ones. I've got some easy ones as well, because otherwise it's pointless and it's just me talking to myself. But I think last year I think there was quite high scores, so I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen again. You'd be lucky to get quarter marks if you take part, but that's all part of the fun. So come along, get in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, you really turned that round then at the end. Yeah. You're like Gareth in The Office with his top trumps. He's like, I know every combination that will beat you. Still be fun though.
I'm running out of questions. I'm not running out of questions, but I don't want to just kind of do variations of the same question. So if you've been to the quizzes before, or you've listened to some of the stuff we've done, it's been like, has this ex-county player ever played for a certain team? Like we've done Rochdale, we've done Oldham. The first few times you do, it's got legs. I think Bury's like the next obvious one to go to, but then people can start preparing for these questions. So I need to come up with something a new kind of format of questions, or maybe a complete new format of quiz, and just really fuck with people's minds and see what we come up with.
Well, whilst we're getting quizzical, as it were, myself and Ben are also just opposite the players' entrance on a home match day, doing a bit of stuff for the old socials, because social media is going to be big one day. I swear. Like, stick with me on it. It will be huge. Like, they don't listen, but it will be. But yes, Ben will be quizzing you on your counting knowledge, and we're going to have a leaderboard and what have you. We did the first one on Saturday. Not going to reveal how it went just yet. You have to wait and see until it gets uploaded.
So yeah, if you do, we've got a couple of different formats. You've probably seen other inferior podcasts, not county adjacent, just inferior football podcasts and content creators.
Which is everything apart from football cliches, I'd say.
I'd say so. I'm happy to be runners up to Adam Hurrey.
Very much so
for our sins. And I would say we've got probably 3 or 4 different kinds of quizzes. So there's going to be a classic, 10 questions, answer those questions. There's kind of picture rounds. There's going to be more kind of obscure stuff. So genuinely, if you do want to take part, it's less than 5 minutes out of your Saturday. Then please just drop any of us a message on Twitter or X, and we'll get it sorted. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. It's not too, like I say, I know sometimes when I do quizzes, I do set them quite difficult, but these are quite obtainable unless you are this podcast's main sponsor, in which case you might struggle, because that's what we saw on Saturday.
Oh, spoilers! God, he hated that, didn't he? I love that. I was like, "Oh, do you want to sponsor us and give me money to make you look good?" And then we've just made him look a twat.
Humiliated him with a quiz.
Yeah, just genuine. And he went out of his way to come and get involved in that as well. It wasn't like he was just walking past. He left the ground, walked for 5 minutes.
And everything.
Yeah, because I saw him coming the other way as I was walking away from you, because Charlotte and I had decided that we should probably go into the ground. And so it was, he really did make a big effort to showcase his incredible knowledge.
Yep. You'll see how that went soon. Right, with teasers in mind, before we get into talking Wrexham on Saturday, quick burning issue in the comments. I'm asking people if Torre walks back into the side for the Burton game on Saturday. One word answer, Ben.
No.
Hannah.
Also no.
That's 2 words.
I know, but there's a whole Charlie quite likes playing the winning team, regardless of kind of who's back available for selection.
It's a no from me. No, I mean, no is the answer, but there's nothing to whinge about. Like, if we'd lost 5-0 again on Saturday, there'd be loads of burning questions I could ask people to keep them occupied for an hour, but there isn't. But Ben, you've got something to keep them occupied for an hour, have you? Apart from an hour of top county chat.
Yeah, apart from just our natural charm and wit, yes, we have 2. We'll say we, us as a collective. We have 2 questions.
You do it, yeah.
So, first one is Ben Hinchliffe related. If you imagine Ben Hinchliffe, one end here, and
you often do.
Hang on, let me think how I could do this. Should we start? I'm going to make it really hard to begin with. We'll see how people get on, and then we can bring it down a level if people aren't getting it. Okay? So I am looking. So I'm going to name Ben Hinchliffe at this side, and I'm going to name a well-known player on this side, Premier League player on this side. I want to know who is the connecting teammate in the middle. Who did Ben Hinchliffe play with in a competitive league game who also played with this other player? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Completely.
Okay. So Ben Hinchliffe here, Brad Friedel here. Who is the connector who also played a league game with Ben Hinchliffe, but also played a league game with Brad Friedel?
Side point, Brad Friedel's mum is the loveliest lady. And when I was working at V-Shop with Benji Taylor, she came in and she was just the cutest lady, and she was like, "Happy holidays, Hannah." And it was like the sweetest thing.
Brad Friedel's mum is not the answer. Just to clarify,
not expect her to come up today.
Is not the answer.
Oh.
So there we go. Ben Hinchliffe, Brad Friedel, who's in the middle. And if no one gets that within, I don't know, let's say 8 minutes by 25 past, then there's multiple players who can replace Brad Friedel, and eventually somebody will get it.
Stunning. And do you have another one for them to be going at? Or should we leave that for a bit?
I do. So I'm sure we'll come to it in a moment. We've got Burton away on Saturday, I believe. The only team in League One who we have never beaten before. Only played them twice. Lost 2-1 at the Pirelli in October 2010 and then drew 0-0 at Edgeley Park in 2011. So who was the last Football League team we beat for the first time?
Ooh, that's good. I have a feeling I might know, but we'll see. We'll see if anyone gets it.
Yeah, and please don't if you don't know it, then that's fine. Don't just start naming like every Football League team in the hope that one of them will eventually be correct.
Yeah, that's fair. Excellent. Well, I'll keep an eye on the comments and see if people get that. Oh, Hannah's had a go. Hannah's had a go in the private chat there.
Oh, you do? No, that's why it's in the private chat, not the like. I know. Literally shamed for my.
I was just drawing Ben's attention to it in case he hadn't seen it.
I hadn't seen it, and I'm not going to acknowledge anything just yet.
Okay. Right. Let's get on to Wrexham after this. Wrexham, Saturday, 1-0. Hannah, talk to me.
It was so much better than I expected. I didn't enjoy it. I still felt sick the whole game. The Wrexham lot were
That's what makes it enjoyable.
The Wrexham lot were very noisy, kind of going up to kick off. Lots of banter with the yellow block, and I don't know. I just didn't have a particularly good feeling. I'd been on. I did Rob Ryan Red last week in the Racecourse Ramble, and for both of them, I predicted a Stockport loss, which I know is kind of one of those things that you really shouldn't do in terms of kind of betting against your team. But I don't know. I just never have a good feeling about that fixture. I don't enjoy it. Both fan bases come off atrociously in the aftermath of it. And yeah, it just felt really nervy. Like they obviously roll out the excuses. Arthur Okonkwo's injured, although Callum Burton was incredible
for them.
And they've got quite a few other injuries, like Jack Marriott's the big one that they're missing. There's a few others. But yeah, they never really seemed to threaten. And it was almost like, whenever they were in the last third, you were just waiting for us to take the ball off them. And all that I think could have undone that. I mean, 1-0's always a bit nervy anyway, and it felt like it had last minute or 93rd minute equaliser written all over it. We didn't make any mistakes in terms of, that would have led to a cheeky goal. But I recruited not one, not two, but 3 new podcast listeners on Saturday.
Hey.
So Georgie, Paul, and Gary, who sit next to me, we talk every week, but we've never really talked. They have this thing where they'll go for a drink before half time, and quite often we score just before half time. So I was like, right, go on. And then they came back late, just as, I can't remember who it was. There was a very, from the corner, the Cheadle just after half time, nearly scored. But it just felt like that. It felt like just some little twist of fate needed to happen. And I think if it had been 2-0, I would have felt much more comfortable, she says. I mean, I'm the girl who, when we were 4-0 up in September last year, was not convinced that we were going to win. So I don't know why I thought 2-0 would make it better, but it's a bit of a margin, isn't it?
Yeah, I was genuinely really surprised at how toothless Wrexham looked. I mean, it seems to be the common feeling amongst their fans, though, that just away from home, they don't seem to have anything this season, and I know they're up there and everything. But that performance, I think, pleased me. Not just suppose, but the whole day. I'm sure you might well agree, Ben, because you're also a Jeopardy fan. But do you think it's fair to say that probably was our best performance of the season in terms of how much we restricted them and how much they just had? I think there was the one chance that they had, that free header for Elliot Lee, and that was it.
Yeah, I think so. We were good. We were really good. And let's say Wrexham are not a bad side at all. They're up there. They're above us in the league, and they've proven over the last few years they're really, really good. I thought it was great. I enjoyed it. As established many times before, give me that over a 5-0 win. Much prefer a tight game. It keeps it interesting. It keeps people alert, and I think it's a lot more enjoyable. Best performance of the season. I think there was a lot of very, very strong individual performances. Definitely. I think we saw Lewis Bate is, he's not had a poor game really, but he is, the last few weeks has been outstandingly good and seems to have grown into even more than he was doing a month ago when he was still really good. He's kind of really, really growing into the team and making things tick a lot that we probably haven't had that until this point of the season. Norwood, I've been critical of him on here.
Same, yeah.
Saying that he looked a little bit, it was a daft thing to say that he looked a little bit out of his depth and all this, but he's been fantastic the last 2 games and shown what a difference that he can make. Again, I've said this elsewhere as well, but Rydell and South and Hales transform the team. They really do. They just give us so much more energy, width, quality as well. And that's not to say that, Torre and whoever else we've been having at right back doesn't give us that, but they just give us, the team just looks so much better with those 2 in it. And the other big thing as well that we've had over the last couple of games as well is Ben back. And I'm not interested in the big whole Adai versus Hinchliffe debate kind of thing. It seems very black and white at the moment as to which side of the fence you're on. But Ben, I think it just brought that kind of a calmness and everything to the defence, which I don't think we had. And that's not putting the boot in on Corey Adai or anything like that, but there's noticeably been this kind of calmness and organisation and just something that was missing before. And people could say it's similar to 2022 when he replaced Yaros and suddenly everything clicked because the defence got settled kind of simultaneously. And maybe, I don't want to say he's got lucky with Southam, Hales and Rydell coming back because there's a lot more to it than luck. But yeah, he's benefited from having those back there. But as a team, we just look really, really good now. Still find it quite hard to believe we're 4th. I know we've played more games than everyone else. So, we might, drop a little bit to 5th, 6th or 7th. But to be where we are, is really, really positive. And, I don't subscribe to this, let's consolidate or, I'd take 10th now. Wouldn't take 10th. I don't think I'd even take 6th now if it was offered, genuinely. Showing what we're capable of. And I know people say, well, the Wycombe game shows what we're capable of. Yeah, it does. But that, if you look in the context of our recent history over the last 6, 9, 12, 24 months, is a complete outlier. That, a 5-0 defeat or a 4-0 against Tranmere is a once every 12 months, whereas winning more games than not is what we're all about. So I honestly think we're more, well, not that we're even capable, that playoffs is almost what I'd expect this team to achieve. And I think we're more than capable of pushing for the top 2. Really do.
It won't be a case of, if we don't make the playoffs, it won't be a case of feeling like we need to throw toys out the pram, but I think it would be an underachievement in terms of what we spent, the manager we've got. I mean, he doesn't seem to get I went on Radio Manchester tonight and they were talking about how just the job he's done, not just here, but at his other clubs before, never finished outside the playoff places in his career and he's constantly moved up. And just, if he was bald with a goatee, he'd be managing in the Championship.
Just needs to wear a roll neck, doesn't he?
Yeah. That's literally all it takes. There seems to be a snobbery like from higher levels towards it. I
Yeah,
don't know if they just see
completely.
him as a non-league manager or whatever, but it's fine. That works well for us. The longer we get to keep him, the better.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. And going back to that point about, I wouldn't take 6th now. I'm sure we were National League North 5 years ago. Yeah, we were, but now we're not. And we've spent millions and millions of pounds, and we've got, we're a completely different club now. And yeah, we've just come up, but so what? Look what we did in the 90s under Danny. We came up from the 4th and kind of almost went straight through the 3rd. And about, a few years later, we did go straight through, but we went through into the 2nd division. And I've complete faith and confidence that's what we will do within the next year or two. It might be this season. Hope it is. Might not be. But yeah, unless we kind of have a complete fall off, start getting turned over and finish like 18th, then I'm not going to be, well, I suppose in that scenario, I would be a bit, annoyed. But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen under Challoner and his team and Wilson and everyone. So, yeah, I wouldn't honestly wouldn't take 6th now. I think we're more than capable of finishing a fair bit higher than that. I think the title is a huge ask when you look at Birmingham, what they've got and what they could potentially go and do in January as well. Yeah, you'd expect them to win it, but why can't we finish 2nd or 3rd? We can. For me, I think that's probably where we're looking to be. We're 4th now, so why can't we go 2 places higher?
Well, before that, and I think Sam Byrne tweeted it at full time on Saturday. I think he described it as ominous that we look to have clicked like we do around this time of the year, under not just under Challoner but under Gannon previous to that as well. That you used to seem to click around this time of year, and then there'd be a student. And I think we've been saying it on here for a month or two now that you feel like that's around the corner. And another winnable game coming on Saturday. The fixtures are thinning out a bit now. We're getting a week of recovery time. Injured players coming back, and you just start to think. But I think one of the most pleasing things that really fascinates me actually. Now, I've got a mate who's a massive City fan. He's been going home and away since like 93, 94, goes every week. And even he said to me at times that the whole story of it, like, well, they've done it now. He's sort of losing interest now. Now they've won the Champions League and everything, done the treble. He's like, well, where do you go? It's like Mighty Ducks. Like what when they've had the Russians and stuff. Where do we go from here? But I love the fact that there's 4 players who are key to this run in the last couple of weeks who have been with us since the National League. In the same way that we have players who went from National League North to League Two, and we've got again. I mean, I don't think I've ever been as happy for a county player as I am for Macaulay Southern Hales.
Yeah, he's something else, isn't he? In terms of his ability, you've got to think if he hadn't had those injuries last season, he may well have been called up by Wales. You'd expect. Because he's that good. I know he's at League Two level, but that Johnny Williams was playing for Wales when he was in League Two, when he was at Swindon. And I think he might even have gone to the World Cup, Johnny Williams, when he was at Swindon. But Southern Hales is that good. And I easily think he could play in the Championship. I don't know how old he is now, because I know he's been with us.
He's late 20s now. I think he's 27, 28, something like that. Which I just think of him as a youngster. I think of him as like early 20s still.
27's not late 20s. I'm not having that. Mid 20s.
Well, I don't know, because I'm 37 and I get described as late 30s.
No, I'm 39 and I still describe myself as mid 30s. So
yeah. I mean, in my head, I'm still 24. So
yeah. So Southam Hales, I think if you look at Southam Hales, Rydell, Collar, and obviously Ben as well, he's got the extra step on everyone else. Bring those forward into, imagine you get them in the Championship. You've got Ethan Pye, he played a handful of games for us in the National League as well. He's been with us a long time. It'd be great. But for Southam Hales, after everything he's been through, all his injuries, he's missed a lot of the big occasions for us. He didn't play in the Halifax game or all that running. He went off against Wealdstone, I think, in about the March when we were 2 down. Then he missed Wembley. He kind of missed the title running. He's kind of missed all the big moments since he's been with us. But he's always, and I'm sure, privately and everything, it's affected him. But his public kind of face and image and everything has never been anything other than perfect. He seems like such a massive character and such a big part of the squad and the club. It'd be absolutely love to see it. Just him being able to take part in a big occasion. And not even take part, that sounds a bit patronising, but play his part in a big occasion, because he's more than capable of doing that.
Speaking of Macaulay Southern-Hales, actually, Mike Miney of BBC Radio Manchester has produced an 8-part podcast that's, I think, it actually premiered on, the first episode was on Radio Manchester tonight on their sports show. So we'll be getting Mike on in the next week or so to chat about that. Hopefully he'll bring Macca with him.
And that's all about Southern-Hales.
Yeah, Road to Recovery it's called. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we should really, like you said about him missing the big occasions. He's always still been there at the centre of them. He's not been pulling a face or anything. He must be such a fantastic character to have.
Yeah, really, and the thing that really annoyed me, more than annoyed me, in the summer, obviously he picked up this. Over the summer, he was out because he'd picked up this really bad injury in February. Contract was up, and all these boneheads, get rid of him. He's not value for money.
Blows my mind.
Fuck off. Like, he's an employee who's been injured essentially in the course of his work, and now you want to just get rid of him. Like, in no other world is that acceptable or kind of the right thing to do. If obviously we didn't, and I didn't for a second think we would get rid of him. But if we'd have got rid of him and just kind of not renewed his contract and just shipped him out, it would have been a disgusting thing to do. So the fact we've given him that extra year, I really hope you kind of waive another 2-year deal with him, like sooner rather than later, because he's out of contract in 6 months or whatever. Is when the season finishes, out of contract, and you cannot let somebody with his ability and everything that he offers just walk away. So I would like to think that we are well within, or kind of well down the line in terms of offering him something new, getting tied down. And I don't know whatever Rydell's got left on his deal, but I think he signed a new deal, didn't he, Rydell? But I'd get him tied down as well. For me, he was somebody I always thought could go and play probably higher than, like, kind of outstrip County, would accelerate past us. Very, very early days. He's been out for over a year. He's only played like 3 games for us, but he doesn't seem to have lost anything. And yeah, he's such a good player.
I think people forget with Rydell. I think he got, I think it was like 21 assists in the National League winning season. Yeah. That's just astonishing. Like, what a player! Yeah. I don't think we can talk about the Wrexham game without mentioning this. We've covered one. Well, technically, we've covered 2 LBs because we've had Bate and Rydell. But let's have a look at Barry's goal, shall we?
Appeals for handball, but it comes out to Louis Barry. Oh, yes! He's done it again! Louis Barry with an absolute screamer! It's a wonderful goal from Louis Barry, the top scorer in League One, and that is exactly why it's County 1, Wrexham 0.
I wish I had the time to just reenact the weekend games on Subbuteo.
You have to pay for that. Did you get the exclusive rights to that footage?
Yeah, I had to send some emails to the club today to get that, but we did it. He just keeps on. I mean, it's one of those phrases that boils my piss, but it is very much Louis Barry doing Louis Barry things.
Yeah, I think the last few weeks have really shown kind of his, I don't know if it's like maturity or whatever it is. If you think back to the Charlton game, when I think there was a little bit of talk that he was obviously scoring, but he wasn't necessarily bringing anything else to the game. He was creating, goes on those incredible runs and then he'd score, but we weren't seeing much beyond that. And Challoner said in his interview, his post-match at Charlton, that he needs to work on his assists. And then you look at the difference in him over the last few weeks, where obviously against Bolton, I would have put my house on him once he checked back, just leathering it towards goal and having a shot. But he looked up, played collar in, it's 1-0, there's an assist. And then Saturday, he's going to do that all day, kind of 20 yards out, he's going to shoot and try and curl it into that top corner. But then there was that run about 10 minutes into the second half as well at the Cheadle end, when he just absolutely glided past 3 players. then had a shot. There's nobody else in the league, or there's not really anyone else we've had in certainly not living memory, but in the last couple of decades who's done that kind of thing, who's just danced past players and then got a shot away. It's just brilliant to see. And I know there's a lot of panic that we're gonna lose him in January and all that. I don't think we are for a second. I think we'll.
I don't think now.
I don't see it at all. I'm not worried in the slightest that he'll go. Villa might well sell him in the summer and cash in on him, but I don't for a second think he's going anywhere in January. Not worried about it.
They have got. I mean, they're not going to recall him to be in their squad with the riches they've got there, the attacking players they've got. He's not going to be getting recalled for that, and they would be absolutely mental to recall him and then send him to the Championship where it might not work for him. Surely they'll get a better fee for him in the summer if he has a full season in League One and bangs in 20-odd goals, which he's well on course for.
Yeah.
If he does that, then if he gets, say, 13 to 15 goals in half a season and then has a shit loan somewhere else, it just makes complete. But I think we're only about a week or two off people starting. People see the transfer window around the corner, and that's going to be how people are going to be constantly on about it. It's going to really annoy me.
Of course it is. The whole transfer window thing is just I say it all the time. Take us back to the Vanarama. No transfer window. Sign whoever you want, whenever you want. Just get the checkbook out. But yeah, this whole transfer window thing now, it just becomes a bit of. In some respects, it's brilliant. The drama of it and the bedwetting when we don't sign somebody on deadline day is great. Yeah. But yeah, we do have to put up this kind of thing. But I'm not worried about Barry going. I expect we will bring other players in. Is there anyone we would lose? Any of our players who somebody might come in with a bid for? You'd think who's our most saleable asset? It's probably Pye.
Or you're saying Ethan Pye. I mean, solid centre back, good on the ball, and left-footed, which is
young as well. Really young. Maybe Rydell. Someone could. We might look at Rydell. He's come back from injury. He's picked up where he left off at arguably 2 levels higher because he only played for a level higher because he had that full season in League Two, didn't he? But a level higher and he's fitted right in. So I'd say Rydell and Pye because of that left-hand, the left-footedness of them, and how young they are. I mean, someone like Horsfall and Bate, but you'd hope they're the kind of the crown jewels, aren't they? They're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I think we'll have at least another 18 months of Lewis Bate at least, and then God knows what we could end up selling him for.
But genuinely. Again, if we're a Championship club, which we could well be, if not in when's the season end? Like 6 months' time. I mean, we could be a Championship club in 6 months' time,
which is mind blowing to say.
Yeah, we could be a Championship club in 18 months' time. That's a season and a half from now. Lewis Bate, if we are, Lewis Bate will have played a huge part in getting us there. I then can't see us cashing in on him to another Championship club because why would we? I suppose if someone like Leeds, who are the biggest club in the Championship, but he was at Leeds, so probably not Leeds. But if some like massive club from the Premier League came down, like an Everton or someone, and came in for him, then you kind of think, do you know what? You can't really knock somebody for going for that. But if someone like I don't know, who's a bang average, like a Millwall or a Bristol City coming to it, we're going to finish higher than you in 12 months. So we're going to get in the Premier League before either of you two do.
Yeah. Last thing on Wrexham, I suppose, is some of the properly odd behaviour from grown men surrounding it. A lot of the Wrexham fans didn't seem to take it very well. I tweeted a video I took of the last minute of the game with Adam Amola's run upfield and the cross and chance for Fevrier, and I had some Grimsby fan reply to it saying, "Oh, you only beat Wrexham." It's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know we weren't allowed to."
We don't celebrate that, and that's it. Like you said at the top, it's not. The fact that it's Wrexham, yeah, because of the recent history with them, and I'm going to use the R word, there is a little bit of rivalry. Doesn't mean you are
there
our
is.
main rivals or
Well, there
were
are
their
local rivals, apparently, according to their
yeah,
Twitter.
it's like the 90
Mental.
minutes local rivals. It's like saying us and
Astonishing.
Doncaster are local rivals.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
Yeah, it's not a local rivalry, but recent history. So, listen to what I'm saying, everyone. Recent history, we've been in 2 title fights with them, means that Wrexham are, at the moment, there is some rivalry there. Of course there is, and that's not because they're Wrexham. It's because in the same way we had a rivalry with Chorley because we were pushing for them for the playoffs and the league title in the National League North. If we have a couple of seasons at this level and it's us and Barnsley or us and Lincoln or us and whoever else, Peterborough, there will be a rivalry there. So
same as early 90s, Burnley, Stoke, Port Vale, they were our rivals because that's who we were playing. That's how it works.
Exactly. And of course, we're going to celebrate that because it's a big win. Because one, there is that added little bit of there being a rivalry from over the last few years. But because they were 4th in the league or 3rd in the league, we've now won to go 4th. So they are contenders, or again, the word rivals for the playoffs or automatic promotion. It's a big win. The same way if we beat Birmingham in a couple of weeks' time, that's a big win. If we beat Mansfield, if we beat Barnsley, if we beat Lincoln, then they are big wins because they are the teams all around us.
I must admit, I do enjoy the fact that there's a group of fans that think of a trip to Edgeley Park that very much the same way we feel when we have to go to Mansfield. Just write it off immediately. But the same thing applies the other way because we're going to go there later in the season. That just seems to be how it works with Wrexham now. We just trade. We'll win at home and they'll win at home and
lose away.
Yeah, and then we'll have some more grown man behaviour.
Oh, well, we've only lost. We won in 2019, didn't we? When Minahan and Palmer scored.
We did the August one, yeah.
So we've only lost 2 league games at the racecourse, I think.
Yeah.
It's only at the back end of 22, and then last game of last season. It's only I know we lost in the trophy as well, but if you look at league games, we've only lost 2 there out of in a run. I think we've won the last 4 at home in the league against Wrexham, and then we lost on a Wednesday night in 2012. I think the season we dropped out of the Blue Square Premier. I think we lost. Was it 2-1, 3-2? No, 3-2. I think Danny Hattersley scored twice.
Yes, it rings a bell. Yeah. Well, talking of the non-league days, that takes us on very nicely to our random county non-league goal of the week, which this week actually I asked Chris Eaton to furnish me with one at random. And for those of you who follow our TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, when the day before a game when I post highlights of one of our previous meetings with that club, that's all Chris Eaton who gets hold of them for me. So thank you for that. Although there is a weird black hole like post admin of like barely any highlights of anything. It's
not a bad thing, though, is it?
No, it's for the best. Well, especially seeing as I try and only post wins. I'm gonna have to break with that tradition this week. But we have got a random county non-league goal of the week, and it's a magnificent one. Spencer at Lowestoft in January 2015.
Yes.
And probably out of all our players, he's any player in county history, he's probably the one that looks most like he'd be in the Cortinas, I think.
I'd go with that.
Yeah,
I'd go with that.
So you've got Ollie Crankshaw looking like all 5 members of Blossoms at once, but we've got a good, rich indie history there. Talk to me
Yeah.
about Lowestoft away.
Two things. One, the trajectory of that ball once it left its foot, incredible. It starts off quite flat, then it's like it's been kind of manipulated, the footage of it, to take it that high and then to drop that low. Incredible. Also, I say famous, that game, it's not famous, but without looking it up, does anyone know who the one appearance player was for us in that game? He featured on that clip, he wore number 2, and he played one game for us.
Oh, I've no idea.
You're not going to remember. If you don't know it, you're not going to remember him.
No, and that was my period of going like home and away every single week. Right, that's. Oh no! I hope someone in the comments gets it, because otherwise that's going to come in. Scott Spencer, genuinely such a talented player. I don't think. I know because of when we signed him, he gets this like journeyman tag and what have you. But let's not forget, he was signed by Everton when he was like 14, 15. He was like really bright prospect at one point and ended up. I don't know. I mean, many things happen to make you fall down the league. He had a very good career in non-league, in all fairness.
Yeah, he was good, and then he stayed with us for quite a while. He was there that season. Then he came. He was there under Young as well in 15, 16, and then he was still with Jim in 16, 17 as well. He scored away at Alty in the 3-2 fairly early on. He equalised at home against Fylde late on. And then Danny Rowe went and scored even later on, the game when Duxbury was hospitalised with the elbow.
That's right, yeah.
Scored that night. So he was a good player. I don't think he, at that stage of his career, had what we needed for us to go on and become an established kind of National League side, which is what Jim took us to. But for a National League North player, yeah, and obviously he gave us the Chester goal as well, didn't he, in the FA Cup? So.
Yeah. We've actually got a Wrexham fan in the chat, amazingly, who's not quite got the concept of rivals by the looks of it. Chester are rivals, always will be. Even when they folded, we still hated them. You can have more than one rival. You can have a competitive rivalry and a historic rivalry. That's how it works.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, I'm not going to dedicate time to explaining it because it's all futile, isn't it?
We've had many rivalries, the fleeting, and they can be based on virtually nothing as well. So yeah, of course, Chester and Wrexham are their main rivals, but in the context, there's many other words you can put before the word rivals, which gives it that extra kind of layer of whatever. So yeah, anyway, nice to have you on now.
Yeah, Phil Parkinson said in his interview after the game that he didn't like losing to their rivals. So there we go. I think Wrexham official channels and people have used the word rivals more than anyone else has. So
yeah, and no, so don't get me wrong. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong about Wrexham. They're a proper club. We've played them, probably hundreds of times. Even just in our lifetime, it feels like we've played them hundreds of times.
They are one of the 10 teams we've played the most.
Everyone's always like, "Oh, don't." I'd love to see them do well. I don't go that far. I don't really see any other team do well. I want us to do well. I don't really give a shit about anyone else. Don't want to see them fall back or kind of do what we did. But yeah, as long as I quite enjoy playing them. Always have done, because they're a local-ish team. They're a northwest team on a similar kind of footing, similar size club in terms of ground attendances, all that kind of stuff. So why wouldn't you enjoy playing a team like that?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We should take out like an advert on telly or something, like when the next game against them comes round, so people can actually get it and get why it is a thing. Right, well, we should get on to Burton on Saturday after this. I shouldn't have had them two buttons next to each other. I knew it confused
Seamless.
me.
Yeah. Just on the lowest stuff thing, by the way, that one appearance player, it was number 2. It was Wes Benjamin.
Never have got. I would. If you'd asked me to name a County Benjamin from non-league, it would have been good old Jailbird Russell. Yeah.
So there you go, Wes Benjamin.
No memory of Wes Benjamin whatsoever.
Yeah.
Sorry, Wes, if you're watching.
I'm sure he tunes in every week.
Yeah, yeah, he was just waiting. He'd been waiting for that.
Over it. That one appearance at Lowestoft.
God, what a life! But wait, so was he on loan or something? Or
God, I think he was some kid that Alan Lord had picked up somewhere. That makes him sound a bit like a predator, doesn't it? But you know what I mean? The Alan Lord context of picking up kids. I don't know, he might have been on loan from somewhere. I don't really know. But he played one game and that's it. Yeah, he's probably sat at home now, still in his boots, not had a shower since, still got that player boots kit on. Yeah, just waiting. What I might do, I might put his number to ring on his phone.
I might put his name in the episode title, and then we'll find out if he's one of them who searches for his own name on Twitter.
Hope he does.
We'll get him on.
Well, yeah.
We'll do a live show with him at Stockport Gin. You can get his one shirt out.
I've got 2 from that season. I've not got the number 2. I haven't got the number 2. I don't know. I might even have that number 2 shirt. Yeah. Anyway.
No, well, you can't. It won't be that one because, as we've established, he's sat there in it still. Yeah. Bless him. Oh, thanks, Wes Benjamin. Thanks for the memories. On to Burton on Saturday then. A club who have had a fair bit of investment recently, made some signings in the summer that. I mean, there was a couple of them. Elliot Watt, in particular, was one that seemed to be linked with us for a very long time. On the face of it, they made some good signings, but from what I've read, they've gone down they've tried to go down a similar route to Notts County in terms of the data-driven approach, and it's just not paying off for them yet. They're currently managerless, so I think we know what's going to happen Saturday now, don't we?
Yes, exactly that. Hopefully I don't know, because I saw it. Someone said earlier that this temporary manager's, has he won like 2 games or maybe even 3 if you include the Bristol Street Motors?
Yeah, he's doing well. Yeah.
So they're obviously picked up. I don't know who it is or who even the previous manager was. So it's obviously had some kind of effect. But even still, with respect to them, should beat them.
You'd expect so, wouldn't you?
You've tempted it now. You've jinxed it. It's like, well, I haven't, because what I say on this podcast has no impact on the actual occurrence of the game. So I haven't. But yeah, Whitfield, what people keep talking about this Orsi as player.
Yeah, he was at Crawley last season, if it's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, decent striker.
So, I don't know. Maybe they should be a bit higher. If they carry on as they are under this new fella, they probably will be higher if they keep winning. But, if we're serious about even the playoffs, Burton is a game you've got to be targeting to. I know it doesn't work on necessarily on a game-by-game basis. It's kind of like break it up into chunks and get a set number of points over that period of games. But yeah, I think if you look at what we've achieved in the last 2 games, then it'd probably feel a little bit of a disappointment to not get 3 points at Burton. And that's not what I don't like this. Oh, well, you'd have taken 6 from 9 or 7 from 9 from those 3 games. So that doesn't matter. That's not how it works. We've got 6 points. Let's go make it 9 points now.
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have thought after the Wickham game, if I'd said to you after the Wickham game that we'd beat both Bolton and Wrexham in the next 2 games without conceding a goal, one hell of a turnaround. And given what we've said as well about how it seems like we've got into that groove now that we do around this time of year under Challoner. Yeah, I think it's reasonable to be going there expecting a win. Surely. Yeah, completely. And it's not going to be easy because no games in League One or whatever level you're at are easy. But yeah, we should be. It's not being entitled or arrogant or anything to think that we're going to be the favourites. Of course we are. We're 4th in the league. They're 23rd. We've just beaten 2 big playoff contenders without conceding a goal. So yeah, it's probably tougher than it was 3 or 4 weeks ago because they picked up. But yeah, we should completely be looking for the win. I'm sure we will, and I'm sure we'll give it. We'll be all right. And yeah, there's the hope. Yeah, the hope would be that this run will just carry on. I mean, Brackley at home the following week in the cup as well, and the club have sort of. I wouldn't say completely seen sense, but in terms of ticketing arrangements and stuff, a lot of the feedback seems to have been taken on board from the fiasco that was the Forest Green game, apart from the pop side, which I still find weird that we didn't never closed the pop side when we were in National League North for an FA Trophy game or anything, but it's still very uneasy with that.
I know it was kind of spoken about the last couple of weeks, so don't need to go over old ground on it. But obviously, the stand's going to be open for the away fans anyway. And I think I saw something that they said they've sold nearly 250 tickets, Brackley, which, considering they used to be literal single figures of people, is good on them. Shows that we're not just we're actually probably quite a big draw for these non-league teams now. It's not like how it used to be when it was on a level footing. So the stand's open anyway. It's not like we've got any kind of historic, there's that word, rivalry again, or tension with Brackley or anything like that, or they're kind of renowned for causing trouble. I'd prefer to see it open. I don't know, people say like, oh, it's a massive boost for the away players when they come out and see their fans and there's no County fans. I don't really subscribe to that, but County fans sit there every week, have done for years. They have season tickets there. Doesn't really feel necessary to close the stand, I don't think. Obviously, I say that without any sight of the incentives or financials or whatever things come into the decision to close the stand. But yeah, it just all seems a bit unnecessary to close it.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. A shame that. One. While we're on the pop side, actually, did you see the stewards?
I did. The dash
running out at one point,
excellent,
and the one whose hamstring went, and fantastic. What genuinely the highlight of Saturday for me. That
and do we know what occurred yet?
No idea. Not got a clue. No.
It was excellent because the whole ground kind of stood up to see what was going on. We were in lower tier 1, so we're the furthest part away. So you stand up. What's going on? Then everyone else, like this wave of people, stood up, and then there was no sirens. There was nothing seemed to happen.
Phase 5, phase 10,
nothing. So, but yeah, love to see it. It was great. Makes it. We've not had what was it? We've not had a phase 10 yet, or a phase 5, or whatever it was, have we? For a while at the start of the season, the stewards kept getting addressed.
Yeah, we stopped.
Was it phase 5? Or
yeah,
level 5?
phase. Yeah. Phase 5 and phase, I think that was more a training thing for new stewards, and I think they've got them now. We did get the other week that I meant to mention to you. We had a Matty Lee to the centre tunnel.
Not had that for a long. That's a classic, Ken. It's a vintage one.
That takes me back like 20 odd years. That does.
Yeah, Matty Lee to the centre tunnel. Yeah. What we've not had for quite a while is, I suppose it's because of things. Like people have mobile phones now, but we've not had kind of a message for somebody to get in contact.
Wife's gone into labour.
Yeah. And we don't get very often anymore, will the owner of a vehicle, and then he reads the registration number out, get moved anymore. Because that used to happen almost every week.
Yeah.
But not had it for a while now.
Yeah, and then, I mean, the assumption was they must have parked on the club car park or something. And
you think so, yeah. And again, there's now essentially security guards and stewards stopping that kind of thing happening. So probably we don't need to do it, but yeah, it would be nice to hear a few more of the kind of the old classics.
And the minute silence for Remembrance Sunday kind of went by all too smoothly the other week. Different times we're living in at County. It's just like that overall professionalism. It's a shame, really. Can't have it all.
I know, that's it. Want Scatman John, basically.
Yes, that's all we asked for.
Yeah.
Well, before we've had a comment from Ian Dowden. Has Ben got the County Romania? I mean, if you're asking if Ben has got a County Romania shirt, then you probably shouldn't be watching, because I mean,
yes, I have. Am I allowed to show it? Yes, I am. Why would I have a contract saying it can't be shown? Do you want me to go and get it? Or should I go and get them, I should say? Should I go and get them?
Oh, go and get them, yeah. I'll vamp.
You do what you do, Nick.
Oh, God, what do I do? Also, at the top of the show, we asked you a couple of teasers. We'll let you get the last few answers in before Ben returns, and we can get the answer. I don't have a clue, but there is a link between Ben Hinchliffe and Brad Friedel, and there is a player that has played with both No, I don't think anyone's even attempted to get the answer to that in the comments. Ben, do you have the shirts? I was just reminding people of the Hinchliffe-Friedel conundrum. Saw them at a free trade hall.
I've not. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's got it right. Has anyone got it right? I don't think they have. I've not
don't think so.
attention.
I don't know the answer. But...
Okay. So connection between Ben Hinchliffe and Brad Friedel. I assume no one's got that. So another connection. So instead of Brad Friedel, let's take it to probably makes it a bit easier. Paul Ince. Who's the connection?
So someone who's played
Well,
with
people are
Bowen.
thinking there. Here is.
Oh, a couple of people have said Jason McAteer.
It is Jason McAteer.
Isn't
Tranmere.
it?
Yeah. Ben played a handful of games
Excellent.
for Tranmere. I think he played 2 games for Tranmere at the back end of 06-07. I think. I know for definite he did. One of them was against Brentford. And he came on as a sub in his first game, but he started against Brentford at the back end of 06-07 when we just missed out on the playoffs under Jim. And Jason McAteer was at the fag end of his career and was playing for Tranmere. And obviously McAteer is the connection between Ben and Brad Friedel. And I was going to go down from Brad Friedel was the top one. Then it's going to be Paul Ince. Then it's going to be David James. Then it's going to be Patrick Berger. Then it's going to be Michael Owen. Because I thought obviously people will get they are Liverpool players. And then you're just thinking Liverpool players from the 90s. So there you go. Well done, Lewis Kidd.
Congratulations to Turnstile Supremo Lewis Kidd, who got that. Turnstile Supremo and Newfound Gold Bar Digestive Aficionado.
Right. Okay.
Highly recommended. Not being sponsored, but they're very bloody good. Romania shirts, please.
Romania shirts. So which one would you like? Sure, I've got 2 here. I would say I don't quite know why there'd be a contract on them, but I can show you exactly who they are. I'm going to through a little bit of detail now. You're going to indulge me again, Nick? Yeah,
of course. Yeah, that's why you're here.
So here we go. Here's the Romania shirt. One of the very, very few originals that exist. So reasons as to there you go. It's nice, isn't it? And just to be clear, that's number 6. So that was Jim Gannon's from the game, obtained directly from Jim in November 2020. Obviously, it's got the Robinsons in the same style as the shirts that season, so you can see how the flock, how it's been pressed in. It's got the proper original Nationwide Football League sleeve patches that are heat pressed, not stitched, and also they're originals because those awful snide cheapo ones you get on eBay now are incredibly reflective, whereas these are not, and you can spot them a mile off. Third thing, double XL, all 50-52 size shirts. Fourth thing, replicas have a stitched Romania FA patch down at the front, which these do not. Fifth thing, replicas also have a Romanian flag sewn on at the back here, which this does not. Sixth thing is they are in-house homemade heat-pressed felt numbers. There is also a seventh thing, but I've never actually told anybody what it is, and I'm not going to tell you it now, just in case, because that is my final. If anyone manages to forge all of those things, there is one final thing. I guarantee that not even Bish would know who's the kit man back then as to how you would spot a genuine.
Oh, lovely.
So that is my foolproof way of checking. And if that wasn't enough, so that was Jim's. And there's another one. Just prove it is the second one. Number 7. That was Kieran Durkins. I got that off him. Yeah, about a year before he passed away. So yeah, very pleased to have that as well. Did also used to have Damon Searles. That was the first one that I got, number 14. I got it off him in 2012. Always said I'd never sell it, all of that kind of stuff. Never intended to. And then I got Durkins. And this was back in the time where I always thought I only needed one of each shirt rather than...
Oh, them days, yeah.
And also, like, we were pregnant with our first and needed the money to pay for various child shite, prams, buggies, beds, cots, feeding things. So that went, but the person who has it now, he's he's a good mate, good guy, and I've kind of got an agreement if he ever does wish to move it on, it will come back to me. So hopefully one day I'll get that one back as well. That was number 14.
Lovely stuff.
So I've never, other than Flinney, Cavaco, Alan Armstrong, Tom Bennett, I've never heard of another genuine one. I know there are a couple, like Penno Draws, friend of the show. He had a Romanian replica shirt badged up. I think there's this fella on Twitter who does a really nice job. He puts the patches on and the crest and everything. So Penno's kind of got a homemade version of it. There's another fella on Twitter who's got one as well. He's got a genuine Argentina shirt actually from the 80s, but he's got a Romania one as well, like a knockoff Romania one. But I've never ever heard of anybody having a real one other than these ones. So I'd be very skeptical if anyone claims to have one.
Did you not try Sean Connolly? No.
I did actually. Before this, that incident we don't like to talk about, I spoke to Sean around the same time I got Damon Searles, and it wasn't available. I do know where a lot of them are, and I think they're all with players, except Sean's. I don't know if anybody else other than the lad I mentioned who's got Damon Searles off me. I don't know of anyone else who's got one who wasn't a player. So
excellent. If you know the whereabouts of any of them, get in touch.
Places. In fact, Lewis Kidd, I now know who you are. I know who you used to post on Marion's board, and your username was loosely based upon your surname. And because I remember about 12 years ago, I remember being in an office in Horsham in Sussex at one of my old jobs, and you mentioning that you had Nicholas Bignell's orange Macron shirt, and I was really, really wanted it off you. So that now fits completely. So if you have got it still and you want to weigh it in, you know where I am.
I used to have the orange Macron shirt, match worn Christian Ribeiro, signed by Adam Griffin for some reason.
That's what we need. That's the kind of memorabilia that I love. I'm here for.
So I used to run a post office, and there was a customer who came in. They knew because I used to work Saturday morning before I went off to some awful National League North game. I'd have like my shirt or scarf on or whatever. He's like, "Oh, the lad doing the scaffolding on my house. He used to play for County. I'll get a signed shirt." I was like, "Oh, who is it?" He's like, "Adam Griffin." I was like, "Oh, not bad, decent era, like 2008 and stuff. Like, it might be good this." And then he shows up with his Christian Ribeiro match worn with Adam Griffin signed. I'd rather he'd not have signed it, to be honest.
Yeah, completely. I've got 3 from that. I've got Michael Rose, probably in like descending order of quality. So Michael Rose, Paul Turnbull, and then at the bottom, Michael Owen's brother-in-law. Is he his brother-in-law?
Who's that?
Richie Partridge.
Oh, of course. Yes, he is, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talking of relations and in-laws and all that caper, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, County fan, nephew of Steve,
yes,
son of Martin, and England debut goal scorer. Son of Viva, which he must have got his looks from his mum, because he doesn't look like a bear.
No, his hands aren't quite the right shape, are they?
No, he's not got the. He's not. I'm thinking back to you on about Vernon Bear working for Future Ticketing now. It's got to kill me. But yeah, genuinely a great moment. Seeing him come on for England. He's part of that new breed of England footballers that I wouldn't know if I bumped into him in the street. Yeah. There's a lot of them in that squad.
He could be a postman. He could be anything. Yeah, it could be one of the dads when I drop the kids off at school. Wouldn't know him if I fell over him.
Yeah. Well, he's joined the One Cap One Goal club along with David Nugent, which is quite the club to be in.
I don't want to keep throwing questions out there, but I'm going to throw another one out there. Who was the last one appearance, one goal player for County?
Oh. Well, it wasn't the boy Wes Benjamin, was it? Did he get one against Lowestoft?
Wes Benjamin, no. I actually forgotten his name. Actually, let me double check it.
What era were we looking at?
The game it was at. I could tell you the exact score, but I can't remember actually what his name was, which isn't very helpful. When was it? There we go. Yeah, got it.
So, when are we talking? What season?
To be fair, it's more than
Not
20
gonna
years.
help me.
It's more than 20 years ago.
Oh no! Was it Championship days then,
No.
or are we down to League One now?
League
No,
One.
I've nothing.
I think this might give it away. I'm pretty sure that day, well, we definitely lost, and I'm pretty sure the team we lost to, all 4 goals were scored by one player.
That would be Lionel Ainsworth, was it?
No, that was 3-2 at home to Hereford. He got a hat-trick.
Who am I thinking of? Who scored 4 again? There was it was that era of just in the team sheet and just think, oh shite.
Oh yes, got it. I assume that's Chris Eaton in the comments.
The main man, Chris Eaton, Michael Byrne.
Yeah, away at Notts County, February 2004. We lost 4-1.
Oh, tremendous! Oh, that's fantastic. Of course, it's Chris Eaton. Like, the only person other than you that's going to know that is Chris Eaton. So of course it's Chris Eaton. Well done, Chris Eaton.
Yeah. Excellent.
I've just said Chris Eaton so many times
there.
Oh, he'll be coming on. Don't you worry about that. Don't you worry about that. We're just going to get him to. In fact, we might do a live show with him and just get him to bring his hard drive with him, and we'll just watch videos.
In fact, the only county fan you would invite to bring their hard drive into a public space.
Yeah, very much so. It's like one of them. You know that meme of the girl saying, "Oh, guys can just sit around naming old footballers and have the best time." That's just what it'd be.
Completely.
Yeah,
completely.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
What sit there and
was
spit
the
out
answer?
names like Adam Nolan, and Tom Aldred, and Carl Akimi, and
and just sit there nodding and going, just really appreciating it. I'd love that, to be honest. I'd well for that. Maybe we should hire somewhere out.
Should we do it?
We're trying to hire the Plaza for that.
Sit there.
We'll go sit on the stage at the Plaza.
Yeah, get Leo's database and Hatters Matters up, and just fucking go to town on it.
Just absolutely go to town. Yeah, hours of fun. Yeah, we'll be there for weeks. There was another quiz question at the start of the show.
Was there? Can't remember now.
The
Burton one. So yeah, Burton. We've never beaten them. Who was the last Football League team we beat for the first time? Do you know who it is, Nick?
I think Crawley or Stevenage.
You are correct. It's not
Crawley.
Ricky Lambert. Someone in the comments. It's not Ricky Lambert. It was Stevenage.
Stevenage.
We beat them for the first time. What was it? Crawley? Oh, hang on. I'm doubting myself now. I'm pretty sure it's Stevenage. This is good content, isn't it? Yeah, it was Stevenage. It was Stevenage because that was the game after Crawley, so it was 4 days later. There we go.
Oh, it's the right ballpark though. I'm quite happy to have been even reasonably close.
There we go.
Talking of Ricky Lambert, he tweeted Martin Bellis to say congratulations to Taylor for scoring for England last night, and Martin has essentially said, "Oh, you should come down to County." And Ricky Lambert said, "Yeah, I'd love to see Steve Bellis again, and love to see Dave Challoner because he's doing well. So look out for Ricky Lambert coming to a foghorn near you soon."
All the roundabout rebels on Portwood would love that, wouldn't they? Where don't believe it, all the chemtrails and all this.
Might expect to get any mobile signal that day because he'll be having the masts turned off and all that. Yeah,
tinfoil hat, won't they?
Yeah, I wonder what the wittiest chant is we can come up with him for when he comes on the pitch at half time. Maybe that can be a competition. We'll give a prize away.
Yeah. How do we put the boot into Ricky Lambert other than just like, I don't know, anything we used to sing, something topical about his newfound beliefs? Yeah.
Have you seen the lads outside the Cheadle end after the game giving away that newspaper?
The Light.
The Light, that's the one, yeah.
Yeah. Again, that is what all the nut job conspiracy theorists read, isn't it? I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if that's your thing, then good on you. Good luck with it.
Yeah, it's good to have a hobby in it. It's fantastic. Right. No Ian Dowd, and he can't bring Matt Letizia with him. What one of them in the same postcode is enough. We don't
They did a
need
night
to.
together recently, didn't they? Like in
Of course they did.
Some like pop-up gazebo outside, like in Eastleigh. Letizia and Lambert. Joey Barton was meant to be on the panel as well, but dropped out. Probably for the best.
Even it was too extreme for Joey Barton, was it?
Yeah.
Even he was like, "No, I'm not touching this."
Yeah, exactly. That's a bad. Yeah, if Joey Barton drops out, doesn't want to be associated with it, you're probably onto a loser there.
Yeah. Oh, I bet they just sat there for an hour and a half whinging about the woke Mr. Southgate, as Matt Letizia called him, which is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Just
woke. Yeah.
From the good old days when England managers were openly racist, those were the days. Bring them back.
Yeah.
Oh God, awful.
Yeah.
Business. What a way to go.
Clear, I'm not endorsing that statement in any way, shape, or form. Yeah.
It was anything I say on here is said under the guise of irony and stupidity.
Just for the hard of thinking. Remember. Yeah, there's your disclaimer.
Just for the hard of thinking, yeah. The boys who read the light, that lot. Right, let's say goodbye to everyone. We'll see you next week from 8 o'clock, where we will hopefully be discussing a comprehensive win at Burton, who train at St George's Park. So really, they should be doing better, but they're not, and hopefully they won't be come 5 o'clock on Saturday.
You should get the woke Mr. Southgate in to help them, shouldn't they?
They really should. They really should. Say goodbye to everyone, Ben.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.